I think I can speak for everybody when the Colts Bengals game got put on the calendar in Week 14. I think we were all excited to see how Anthony Richardson would be doing against Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals, who would be on the Super Bowl run. I never would have thought. I think I could speak for yourself. I think I could speak for every Colts and Bengals fan. Never would have thought that I'd be so excited to see Gardner Minshew and Jake Browning go at it. It's an amazing Week 14 matchup. We're recording this right after the Monday Night Football game where Jake Browning went 32 for 37, 354 yards, and with a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Sorry, I thought he had 2 touchdowns, but he had a passing and a touching, so that's still 2. Last I checked,
You said a passing and a touching.
Touching. Oh yeah, we won't talk about the touching, but he had a rushing touchdown as well, and so touching still being investigated. But great performance, I would say. His second NFL start here, first career win on the road, and the biggest game of his football career so far with everything that was online with the Bengals. Bengals are still on the outside looking in at 6-6. They are 10th right now in the AFC overall playoff hunt. They did jump over the Buffalo Bills where they have the head-to-head against them. Colts are sitting at 7-5 and had an amazing victory against the Tennessee Titans where they won in overtime thanks to a Gardner Minshew pass to Michael Pittman, which was set up by an amazing pass by Minshew to Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce had his best game of his career, first career 100-yard game. Ryan, that was a lot of words I just said here, so I want to throw it over to you. What are your thoughts on this game? Both these teams so far. Colts, we're actually going to a Colts game here when they come to Atlanta in a couple weeks. So I'm even more and more excited for that game and what that game is going to mean for both teams. But this game here, what are your thoughts so far on how the Bengals play tonight and the team as a whole?
So the Bengals looked good tonight. I mean, Jake Browning was extremely efficient. They ran the ball fairly well. And like this defense, I know they gave up 31, but the defense still looked good, especially in certain spurts of the game. So it's gonna be a fun match or a fun matchup. I really think that the Colts, I have the better defense here, and man, the Colts right now are 5-1 on the road, and the Bengals are just 3-3 at home. And I know that doesn't usually mean much, but the Colts have looked really good on the road this year. It's I don't know what it is, but this offense, they just seem to click when they travel, and this defense, they get after the passer really well. I would not be surprised if DeForest Buckner comes out with a sack or 2 in this matchup. I really like what the Colts bring to the table. And then on the flip side, I'm very curious to see if Jake Browning can repeat the performance that he just had, because if he can, the Cincinnati Bengals could have some suitors for
a guy like
that.
I know they might trade Joe Burrow.
No, they're not going to trade Joe Burrow. They could trade Jake Browning.
You said suitors, and I thought you meant trade. I thought we were going to have a Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady situation, something you're very familiar with. I'm obviously kidding, so make fun of me in the comments. But I agree completely, because that will, I think for a lot of even Bengals fans, we could probably speak for Bengals fans, but probably wrote them off being like, just with everything going on and all the teams in front of them, probably just wasn't going to be it. Let's just regroup. Let's see if we can go and get just some good young talent, like with our top 10 pick potentially in the upcoming draft. But now with this, and that to me, I think is going to be what I'm going to be thinking about for a majority of this week, is that was almost the perfect game for Jake Browning and the Bengals, as well. Even then too, and not to, when it helped him out a lot to Trevor Lawrence looked like hopefully was just a high ankle sprain in the fourth quarter, which I think definitely stopped the momentum that the Jaguars were building to take the lead in that game. Then they missed the field goal actually right after that. So I think that helped out a lot. I think having Lawrence in that overtime would have helped out. We might be having it obviously would have helped out. We might be having a different discussion right now where while the Bengals still look good, but now they're 5-7, even a little bit farther back. But now being 6-6, the thing to me, I think that was really impressive is this is actually, and I want to double check this as well. And these stats haven't updated yet, but coming into this game, they were last at 834 total rushing yards so far on the season. That was through 11 games. Now through 12 games right now with their 156-yard performance. That will put them – actually, no, I think they'll put them at – no, just shy of 1,000 yards. So they're still one of the worst running teams in the league. And at the same time, then too, their running defense is actually also one of the worst in the world. They were one of the worst in the league as well. They were able to stop the Jacksonville Jaguars run offense, but they also have a poor offense, poor run offense as well. And I bring this up because that's where I think is going to be the big difference in this game so far. Is the Colts are one of the top 10 running teams. They're 12th overall in the league right now with total rushing yards at 1,390. And then when it comes to overall rushing touchdowns, they're 6th. They're at 16 rushing touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor is out, but Zach Moss hasn't really missed a beat at all. Has had a great season so far in Jonathan Taylor's absence when he hasn't been there. I think that's going to be the thing. Can the Bengals, not just only can Jake Browning repeat the performance against the Colts as he did against the Jags, but can the Bengals defense actually have a repeat defensive rushing performance as well? And then actually, can the Bengals also have a similar rushing performance as well against a weak Colts run defense? So whichever team runs the ball better, in my opinion, I think is going to be the team that comes out victorious in this matchup.
Yeah. Also, too, I just think the Colts are, I think statistically, they're the better running team, but the style of run that they're just so physical on that offensive line. Not that the Bengals aren't, but like Joe Mixon himself is physical, but I feel like the Colts have kind of branded themselves with the physicality and Shane Steichen. I think that is kind of his specialty, is creating and kind of enticing that physical nature on the offensive line. We looked at what Philadelphia did last year when Shane Steichen was the offensive coordinator there, and I think he's carried over a lot of the same principles into this Colts team as well. So it's going to be fun to watch. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and get into our predictions here. But before we do that, if you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. And Tyler, who do you think is going to be coming out ahead?
So, as I said, I think the team that is going to be able to run the ball more efficiently is going to be the team that comes out victorious here as well. And I'm just looking at it right now. The Colts have the second most sacks in the league so far at 42. They are one of the top running teams in the league. Gardner Minshew has played exceptionally well. He has been that kind of stable force, even though what you can see with Anthony Richardson, it might honestly, and the future potential and his overall athletic capabilities, it might have all for this season specifically have been best to have Minshew be the guy because he just adds this level of consistency for this team. And if he's able to take care of the ball, what they are able to do with this offense, running the ball and his efficiency throwing it to Josh Downs, who's been a great addition. Michael Pittman is having, in a contract year, is having a really good year. And Alec Pierce still, I think, is actually see if he can repeat his performance. He's a good deep threat guy for the team. And at the same time, I think that was about as great as the Bengals could play with Jake Browning having the game of his life. I think the Bengals run defense had the game of their life as well. And so I think that they're going to be going up against a much better offensive line, going to be going up against a much better defensive line. And at the end of the day, when what we've consistently talked about, I think, for the Bengals is when they've struggled, it has been the trenches. That is when, if they can't win in the trenches, that's when they normally struggle in the game overall. I think the Colts are going to win in the trenches. They're going to be able to run the ball more efficiently, going to be able to cause a little more havoc for Jake Browning. So I'm going to go with the Colts in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Indianapolis as well. I said it in the beginning, they're 5-1 on the road, and I believe that only road loss was to Jacksonville. Yeah. And they never win in Jacksonville. They haven't
over a decade, I think.
Yeah, since they've won in Jacksonville. And so I just like what this team brings. I think this defense travels, this running game travels well. And I think they're just going to out physical the Bengals. And another thing too, this pass rush, like you said, they're second in the league with 42. That is a backup quarterback's worst nightmare. Is if you're playing against a team, they're scoring points and getting after the passer, that is a rough day. I guess not just for backups, but for any quarterback, I guess. So it's going to be a close matchup. I'm going to say it's going to be like 28-24. I think Gardner Minshew leads a touchdown drive in the fourth quarter to take the lead. So
I like it. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I think it will be. We're both taking the Colts. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Tyler and I, we have a unique goal of getting to 2,333 subscribers, which would put us at 2,000 subscribers within this calendar year. So if you could help us reach that goal, that'd be very much appreciated. Leave a comment down below while you're down there on who you think is going to come out ahead in this AFC matchup. Is it going to be the Indianapolis Colts? Is it going to be the Cincinnati Bengals? None of that. We will see you guys next time.